Ever since I was a kid, I loved movies. I think for me, it's always been just a fun way to hear a cool story, to have escapism from a lot of the trials and tribulations of youth. Growing up a chunky, portly, rotund American child in the 90s was not always the kindest thing, and so oftentimes I would find myself retreating into the warm, loving embrace of the latest movie at the Cineplex, or something I found at either Blockbuster or Hollywood Video, or any of the many, many, many long gone and very missed mom and pop video stores that were around when I was a kid. And as I think to what my children are going to be experiencing the older that they get, I'm kind of saddened for them, because they're going to get access to all of these movies, all of these shows, all of these things that they'll be able to get with the press of a button. And that ease of access really does do something in regards to taking away from the hunt of the film. And I think that's one of the things that many of us out there who grew up in the 80s and 90s and the 70s, who remember the video stores, why we love all that stuff, right? There's something about walking up and down the aisles and looking to see what catches your eye and not knowing anything about it, and really just diving into something sight unseen that is part of the experience. Recently I've been looking at collections of VHS photos from online. People have been sharing them and whatever, and I've been showing them on live streams, and I just kind of go through each one. And there's a bunch that I've seen. I mean, you don't really realize how many movies you've seen until you start really looking at the list that's out there. But I'm looking at a lot of these movies, and I'm just like, I remember where I was when I saw that. I remember the story that went to that. I remember how this movie was. I remember how much I loved this movie as a kid. Like, holy crap, I haven't seen this in forever. Why was this never released on Blu-ray or whatever, right? So many of these movies, so many of these stories have stories attached to them, and that's one of the reasons why me, as a 41-year-old man, still to this day absolutely loves movies, and why I still, no matter what, love talking about them. To me, this form of escapism is one that will never be replicated by anything else. It's always there. Somebody will always have a story in their brain that they want to put out there in a certain way. And as more filmmakers are able to enter into the foray, to the battlefield of film, if you will, the more their stories get to be seen and get to be told. The downside to that, though, is that we are now at a space where that walking up and down the aisle, the thrill of the hunt, so to speak, is gone. And that's why I think having people who are genuinely passionate about films, new and old, are a great way to open up to those particular stories and those particular things. And that's why I'd like to know a movie you think is wildly underrated that nobody else but you has seen, and post that in the comment section. I think that'd be a lot of fun and something for us to maybe kind of look at and bond over and reminisce about, because that's why we love movies. Movies to us are our sports, right? They're our communal spirit, our water cooler stuff. That's exactly why we love these kind of things. And so, yeah, I just want to know, what movies do you love? Why do you love them? And what's your favorite unheard of movie? And I think for me, one of the ones growing up that I really loved that I never see anybody talking about anymore is Cloak and Dagger with Henry Thomas and Dabney Coleman. Cloak and Dagger is such a great spy movie from back in the mid-'80s. I love that movie. And if you guys have seen it, let me know your thoughts on it. So yeah, leave your comments below, and let's get into this movie talk and movie YouTube conversation.